Full time at Ellis Park, and the Lions have lost by only 6 points. And you're going to say, wow, I didn't see that coming. But to be honest, guys, when you look at what the other South African teams did, I just thought, the Lions could do something against New Zealand. I'm going to break down why. I'm going to break down, some key things that South Africa can take away from this performance that the Lions did, and what went well and I suppose wrong with New Zealand. Now, first off, a win is still a win. I need to insist on that because so many times, you win a game and the only thing that you have to say, is negative stuff. The All Blacks won the game, 4 out of 4. I mean, 5 out of 5 really, if you count what they've done against South Africa this weekend. And I kind of thought at the start of all of this, when I looked at the fixtures, I thought New Zealand are obviously going to want to thump the Stormers to kick things off. I don't think the Sharks are going to do much. I don't think the Bulls are going to do much because the Bulls are missing probably the most Springboks out of all of them. Probably with the Stormers. I'm not too sure, by the way, guys. I think so. I think the Bulls have the majority of the Stormers. I'm thinking of Steenekamp. I'm thinking of Vilko Low. No, he's gone to the Stormers, hasn't he? I'm thinking of Hanekom. I'm thinking of Nortje, Visa. Who else? There's loads of Stormers, right? Papier, Pollard. Anyway, Curtly. Anyway, all of this to say that the Lions are the only team that I like to watch from South Africa in the URC. May seem controversial, but when I see the Lions playing Glasgow or something, I tune into that. I prefer that compared to all the other South African teams. The Lions are exciting. They play a brand of rugby that is super exciting to watch. And I thought, the Lions might have the best chance of beating the All Blacks. And you're going to think that I'm bullshitting and stuff, and I completely get it. But having watched the Lions play, I thought either the Lions or the Stormers are going to run the All Blacks close. Because their style of rugby could just bother the All Blacks a bit. The Stormers kind of bothered the All Blacks throughout, but they got beaten at the end quite comfortably, 6 tries to 3. But the Lions, what a performance! It was almost a cherry on the cake, really. You know what they did that was impressive is just the courage to just play against the All Blacks. I think I want to say that the Sharks, maybe the Stormers, the Bulls were just spectators. They played when they had the opportunity to, but otherwise they just watched the All Blacks do their stuff. Compared to the Lions that decided to play their own rugby. We want the ball. We're not just going to be happy defending and making sure the scoreline isn't too bad and our fans aren't too disappointed. We're going to try and win this game. They really went out with that intention. Now, can you blame it also on the All Blacks playing a bit of a bad brand of rugby? I don't know. I think the All Blacks did well to win that game because I was watching downstairs and I just thought, I think the Lions are going to win this. I think one penalty, to end this within 6 points is fabulous. I want to say, why don't the Boks pick more Lions players? I've always wondered that. I think the Lions are excellent. They're also the most inconsistent team. Maybe that's why. These guys can lose away to Zebra and then beat Leinster at home. They're that kind of team. They can win the hardest games and lose the easiest games. They're a bit volatile, aren't they, the Lions? But what a game. I'm very impressed by the Lions. I really hope they're going to do well. I know they're in the Champions Cup this year. And I know it's a club that a lot of people like in South Africa. I think that maybe I'm completely wrong again, guys. I just think I've heard that if you're a neutral or you're another you support the Stormers or something, do you also support the Lions on your day off when it doesn't matter? I don't know. I do anyway. I do. I like the Lions. I think they're a good outfit. I think the All Blacks were good in attack, but just a little bit poor. I want to say defensively. Kuan Horn, what a player. He broke the defence a couple of times. They leaked a few missed tackles. They weren't very organised on the break. Also, when the Lions decided to play from their own half, they oftentimes didn't expect it. Maybe that's something that South Africa, that the Boks should do. Play from their own half a bit. Just take the risk. If it goes wrong, you might concede a try. But if it goes well, you might score one. Obviously, but I think that the second test match is going to be insane, by the way. After seeing this kind of game, I'm really looking forward to the second test. When you look at it, South Africa need to win the next 3 in a row if they want to win the series. They need to win at least 2 if they want to tie the series. It's well poised. I like the fact that it's 4 games. It's quite interesting. You'd think maybe right now everything's poised towards potentially a draw, or are the All Blacks favourites, or are the Boks favourites? What about Frankie Horn? I like the guy. Matsebe, what was his name? The number 6 of the Lions. Really powerful guy. Gosh, I like it. I like number 9 of the... Who was number 9? It wasn't Vandenberg. Of course it wasn't. Smith? No, Chris Smith was number 10. Number 9 of the Lions, good guy. The number 9 of the All Blacks had a shocker at the start, by the way. That was he kicked it directly into touch and then he passed the ball straight to a Lions player. 14-0 down. By the way, second half started incredibly well for the Lions. It's a shame they couldn't capitalise on that. 35-17, only to then concede 24 points and 4 tries in a row. Let me know your takes on the game. I just want to say I'm proud of the Lions. And by the way, I'm not South African. I'm not interested in particularly in the Lions. I just really think that they're a cool team, and I had a feeling that they'd run New Zealand closer than all the other teams. I thought, hey, if you want to beat the All Blacks, you need a team like the Lions that have nothing to lose, fearless, will try a few things that the other teams haven't done, and are actually going to play to win instead of playing not to lose. Does that make sense? Anyway, see you boys. Glad to be back on the channel. I love making rugby content. There just wasn't much rugby going on recently, and I didn't think that the previous games were worth talking about, really. I mean, the Lions, this game is worth talking about. That's why I'm making this video. It's because I enjoyed every single second of that game. There we go.